For me as an administrator, and for me when I was a teacher, and for me as a parent, the Rise School is home. It is a place where everyone who walks in the door is welcome and appreciated for where they are. And so it's home for my children, it's home for me, and it's really a community here, and we're lucky to be part of it.
We chose to send our kids to Rise because it's just a unique environment. You can't find any place like it where there's the inclusion of all different kinds of kids, all different needs, all different backgrounds, everything. And they just get to be together and just be who they are and learn about each other. And it's just incomparable to any other place. We get to watch these amazing things happen with these kids who come in with a not so great prognosis, and we get to see them exceed all these expectations, and it's just amazing. And for our kids, they've learned to be patient, they've learned to be tolerant, they've learned that it's okay to be different from each other, and it's not a scary thing, and it's a great thing. And they've learned to embrace that and incorporate that into every part of their life.
Because it's so small, we have a lot more opportunity for individual attention for children. We're able to have them together all day and teach in that inclusive environment because we have the resources and the low ratios of teacher to student.
So we try for the 50-50 ratio of typically developing kids and kids with special needs, and because of that, my children are exposed to kids that have different abilities than they maybe otherwise would be in a regular setting, in a regular preschool. And that again is a gift that I feel like we are giving our children, that they are developing this compassion and this diversity of ability, appreciation for a diversity of ability that they might not get in another setting. And I hope that that's a gift that they will take with them through their lives. They're not aware of any differences, and everyone in their class is just their friend. It's as the world should be.
So I worked at Rise for the last 2 years. My first year I worked as a teaching assistant, and for the last year I've been a lead teacher in the youngest classroom. And I love the Rise School for a lot of reasons. I love how it's a tight, close-knit community. It's a small school. Everyone knows each other and is very supportive and compassionate and helpful. And I also love the inclusion model, and I love that I get to teach typically developing kids as well as kids with special needs. And the inclusive model is really something that doesn't just sound good in theory. You get to see it play out on a daily basis, and it's really neat as a teacher.
So for music therapy, it's using the tool. The tool is the music. That's the tool, and it's something else that helps engage the child or the children in the musical environment. It helps with speech development, language development, helps with fine motor, using your fine motor skills, using gross motor, using your body. Helps with social skills, waiting, taking turns, and again, music is very motivating, so it's a great tool to use within the Rise School community.
Well, first we found out about Rise through my daughter Meredith, who has developmental delays, and it had such a great reputation. There was a waiting list actually to get in, and it was a challenge actually to find a spot. And we thought, well, we want to get her in here, and then sort of for convenience, we also brought our other 2 children as well. But we've kept our other 2 children here because the educational experience has been tremendous for them. They've had, great attention from the teachers, the therapists, all that for all 3 children. So both our typical children and our child with special needs, it's really met their needs, and the teachers are really special in that sense.
So as a speech therapist, I'm interested in how kids communicate. So I'm looking at ways for all kids to have a way to communicate. So I might be using a communication device with one child, or teaching kids to use sign language, or helping kids to use their verbal skills and increase their language and speech skills throughout the day and the daily routines at the school to participate with their peers.
Great.
all of our therapies are integrated into the daily routines. So it's not just when I come into the classroom that we're working on communication. Instead, it's a really collaborative effort between the therapists and the teachers and the teaching assistants, so that we're all working on a child's goals within all contexts throughout the day. So a child could be working on communication during snack time or nap time or potty time or art time, whatever time of the day it is.
Additionally, I don't think that the teachers in other preschool programs are this qualified. All of our teachers have earned a master's degree in early childhood special ed or are working toward one. And in addition to that, we have 2 teaching assistants in every class, and there are no classes that are larger than 12 students. So you get this really individualized experience here where the teachers know them very well, know exactly where they're at, and can meet them at their level and challenge them to the next level.
So, I think it's given us a great sort of sense of community, as well as really inspired Lily to be more of a sympathetic kid, to be aware that everybody has differences and differing levels of ability, and just really be open-minded about the types of people that she sees when we go to the grocery store or when we go out into public. Plus, she really has a variety of friends now that she might not have had otherwise.
Yeah, and the cool thing is that as soon as she started here, she was exposed to kids of all different ability levels, and I wondered kind of what she was going to have to say about that. And she just had nothing to say. She just said that they were her friends, and she's always talked about all of them equally, and that's been, to me, that's been the most meaningful thing, is that she didn't see any differences really in anyone in her class. They've all just been her friends from the beginning.
The Rise School for our oldest son who has special needs. It was just amazing to see how much he developed and how quickly it happened. We just knew that it was the right place for us. And then for our typically developing son, he immediately developed these great friendships. He became a leader. And he doesn't notice that there are differences in any of the kids. They're all just his friends. And I just think that's really cool. For our family, we became part of the Rise family, and that's really what it is. Immediately you have these these friendships you develop with other parents, it's really refreshing, I guess, to have somebody who can understand what you're going through, they're there to support you, they're there to laugh with you, so it's just really been a very special place for both our kids and our family.
Rise is fun, and I love kids. Law school is my favorite job, and I love it here. And what else? I like my friends, the teachers.
For our children, I think our typical children, it's challenged them academically and then given them a unique life experience and interaction with a lot of amazing individuals. So that's been huge. For Meredith, who has the special needs, she has come so far from, when she first started here, it was a huge challenge every day. Just even working in the classroom and medically and developmentally, she's come so long because that therapy is delivered every day, and then the wonderful staff to support her. So that's kind of what it's done for our children. I think for our family, it's really become sort of an extended family for us. My wife works here also. It's kind of like a second home for our whole family here, and I think we've really, beyond that being a second home, also developed a great sense of community with the other families and whatnot. So we've made some, what I see as lifetime friendships with other parents as well. So ultimately, I think it comes down to the kids. Your kids are so important and whatnot. Caroline, one of my typical children, is the one graduating today, and I think she leaves here well prepared for kindergarten, both from an academic standpoint and a socialization standpoint. And that's the number one thing. That's what it's all about, is making sure your kids are at the right level, leaving here and going on.
The most valuable thing, I think, is just that, that a place like this exists with such wonderful and caring staff and therapists and teachers. These people it's hard to even put it into words. I think just how much they mean to us and how much they love our kids, and how much they do for us. And it, like I said, it's hard to put it into words, but it's just been a wonderful experience for us.
Our child has been at Rise for 5 years. We came and visited the school when he was 6 weeks old, and it brought us a lot of hope and promise for what early intervention can do. And today is his graduation, and it has delivered on every promise for us. It's been an amazing place for him to go.